Greetings, you who. I want to dive a little deeper into a concept or a story that we had mentioned this last Sunday. We had mentioned that the Enneagram 2, that personality type, should resonate with Martha in this story in Luke chapter 10. Let me just quickly read it. It says, on their way, Jesus and his disciples came to a village where a woman named Martha welcomed him into her home. She had a sister called Mary, who also sat at the Lord's feet and heard what he had to say. But Martha was busy with the work to be done. So going up to him, leaning on her Enneagram 8, she said to him, "Sir, don't you care that my sister had been leaving me to do all the work by myself?" However, the Lord answered, "Martha, Martha." Oh man, I just think like those moments that my dad would lean in and say, "Andrew, Martha, Martha, you are fretting and worrying about so many things, but there is only one thing that is essential, and Mary has chosen the right thing, and it won't be taken away from her." That's the message to the Enneagram 2. You can worry about all these other things, but there is a right thing. And that right thing is to begin to sit at the table with me. Now, that is a message that you can pull away from this story, and as should you. But you also need to look at the context of where this is placed. I think it's amazing where this is placed. This is placed right in the scripture, right after the scripture that we had opened up the Enneagram Yoo-Hoo series in the first place. It's the story of the Torah teacher leaning into Jesus and saying, hey, what is the most important commandment of all time? And Jesus tells the Torah teacher this, to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, all of your mind, and all of your strength, your soul, your gut, your hand. We are a three-part being. And I'm telling you this, that is not by coincidence. Jesus needs to remind the heart-driven people, the Enneagram 2s out there, that you aren't just heart, you are also mind, and you are also hand and soul. You are gut, and we're supposed to balance that out. Now, watch this story right after Jesus says to love the Lord your God with all of your heart, your mind, and your soul. He begins to teach this Torah teacher who their neighbor is, and it's the story of the Good Samaritan. And this is how that goes in verse 30. Verse 30. Yep. A man was going to Jericho, from Jerusalem to Jericho, when he was attacked by the robbers, and they stripped him naked and beat him up, and then went off, leaving him half naked. And I love how this is written. It says, but by coincidence, a priest was going down. It's not a coincidence. He's going there to serve in the temple. He's going there to do his religious duty. And then guess what? Likewise, a Levi reached that same place by coincidence. And just like the priest had passed by, the Levi passed by. Now, guess what the Levi is doing? He's going to the temple to serve, to be the worship leader, to clean up the temple, to serve and to honor God by helping. Interesting enough, eventually a Samaritan who's traveling comes up. And guess what? Samaritan is the person that's looked down upon. And when he sees this man in the ditch, beaten and bloodied, he cares for them. What's the message here? Mary has chosen the right thing. But guess what? Martha has chosen the right thing as well. I don't think it's an either or. It is a both. The Samaritan is called and acts in obedience with compassion. And the Levi and the priest, they're going to go sit, quote unquote, at the feet, but they forgot to serve in the process. So Enneagram 2s, and heart-driven people, I want to encourage you today choose the right thing. Sit at the table of Jesus, but also use those hands, because those hands were made for worship.